Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this video, in fact, because my happiness is on another level that I'm finally filming this video and I'm finally putting it out because I know it's going to help a lot of people out there, especially people that are still down, mourning, and those that have not healed up to my level. I know this video is going to go a long way in their lives. So I have filmed this video repeatedly for over 5 times, and at the end of each filming I still don't get to put it out. It hurts me so much, not because I don't want to put it out, but because of how the video turns out each time I try to film it. And it hurts me so bad because I know it is a story that all of you would love to hear. From the title, you can see that it's an emotional story. Each time I try filming the video, I end up crying, and I had already promised you guys that there won't be anything emotional again on this channel. It is just going to be happiness, fun, and we move on. We move on. I don't want a situation whereby people will watch me and they will begin to cry or they feel emotional. Yes, I know this channel started as an emotional channel. A lot of people come here after listening to my story, they become strong and they send me messages. Sandra, you don't even know how much strength I get from you each time I watch you. I've gotten series of emails and messages like that, both on Instagram. But I already promised that any story that will make me go emotional, I will try as much as possible to withhold it. And this is one of those stories, okay? This is one of those stories that each time I sit down to share it before the camera, I end up crying. And anytime I cry in the video, I will tell myself, Sandra, you are not putting this out. But thank God that today I am filming this video and I promise myself that I am not going to go emotional at all. I'll try as much as possible not to remember the part of this story that will make me go emotional. That is my promise, okay? So guys, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Sandra and I am based in Awka, Anambra State. All my returning subscribers, you're welcome back to the channel. To those that have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Kindly click the subscribe button. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to my space. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I love you. Let me go into the story because I feel like I'm taking so much time. Don't blame me because I'm trying to see if I can spice up this video so that I don't mess up things again, and at the end of the day, I don't end up not putting this video. So pardon me if I'm talking too much. Let us dive into the video. It is a story time, my personal story, my true life story. It is a story of how I was accused of killing my husband. You all know that I am a widow with 2 children. I lost my husband 6 to 7 years ago. It will be 7 years old by December. Ever since I became the husband and the wife at the same time. I battled a lot of things that I have shared some of them with you guys on the channel. And this is also one of the things I had to deal with, okay? This particular story is something that whenever I remember it, I break down because that was the hardest moment, okay? That was the hardest moment, and a lot of things happened afterwards that made the situation look worse and unbearable. But thank God that we're able to pull through, and here we are today to the glory of God Almighty. It all started when my husband was sick. We had this tipper that carries sand. If you know Lagos State very well, the tipper works at Aja side of Lagos. Yeah. My husband was also into transport. He has a bus and 1 tipper. So that tipper was running when he was still down, in his down time. I requested, me personally, because money was not coming forth for his treatment. Every other thing went sour. The business was down. A lot of things went bad. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't working. I wasn't doing business. And I didn't know so much about his business. His major business was being handled by his brother. So each time I go to request for money, I end up not getting answers that I need. And he was dying. He was down. He was seriously going down. So I needed some money. I now requested that the tipper be sold because already, even before Daddy fell sick, the tipper was already giving problems, so much problem that at a point it stopped working. It was just packed at one spot at that Aja. So when things became bad, I demanded that the tipper be sold instead of being left there to spoil the more and just stay on the roadside. I demanded that the tipper be sold, even if it's crap or something, so that we get to use the money for continuous treatment and all of that. So when I demanded for that tipper to be sold, we started looking for buyer, people that would buy the tipper, and someone took me to Beggar under bridge. If you're in Lagos State, I believe you will know what I'm talking about. It's a popular place that is sell tipper parts. Okay, remember I said earlier that the tipper was no longer in good and working condition, so we decided to sell it. I demanded that the tipper be sold. When I went to that Beggar to go and meet one man that he directed me to, I met with the man, we discussed, we all went to Ajah together for him to see the vehicle he would buy before he makes payments. So after I went to see him, I returned back. He now gave me an appointment that by Monday he will be making payment, that I should come back with the particulars and everything on Monday. So by Monday, my husband released the documents to me to go and meet the man because he was already down. And when I got to meet the man told me that someone came to tell him not to buy from me. And I was wondering who would that be, because the only person I went there with was my brother-in-law, the youngest one. He was the only person I went there with, like the youngest of them was the only person I went there with. So when the man told me that he needs to take his time to investigate before he buys the vehicle, I was shocked. I was like, look at the particulars. It's my husband's name on it. This is my husband. If you want to see him one-on-one, you can come with me so that you see him. I was trying to convince the man because we needed that money for my husband's treatment. He insisted on me giving him some time for him to make up his mind. So I decided to give him time to make up his mind. I returned back, told my husband everything that happened. That broke him down the more because he actually hoped on that money so much because money was not coming from any angle. A lot of things were already at stake as at that point. So it broke him down. I never knew that it was that my brother-in-law that I went to tell the elder ones that I'm about to sell the tipper. He's not sure if his brother gave consent and stuff like that. So the elder ones now went to meet that Mr. Chinedu to tell him not to buy that tipper. That my husband is not aware that I'm selling the vehicle. Not knowing, they didn't know that it was my husband that gave me the permission, and he actually released the document, the original documents of that vehicle to me. They did not know about it. I guess maybe he didn't tell them. So that being said, you get to know how I got to find out that it was my brother-in-laws that went to tell the man. So we continued struggling, and in less than 2 weeks after my husband died, and things began to go from bad to worse because a lot happened that I may not be talking about here. So because they needed time, needed money to do the burial and a lot of other things, I still went back to that man to beg him to please buy the vehicle from me because that is the only thing I can sell, the only thing I can dispose at that point. I didn't want to sell land. I didn't want to sell bus because we had a bus. Though the bus was not working as at that time, I didn't want to talk about the bus because already I knew it that the bus is going to help my life. I already know that the bus is the only asset that he's leaving behind apart from the shop that his brothers are handling. And I know that the bus is going to help my life. So I didn't want to talk about the bus. But I was very sure that I would not be able to raise money to repair the tipper. So I decided to dispose it. Going back to that man to go and beg him to please buy the tipper for me because he was the only person that priced the vehicle a reasonable amount. So he decided to investigate my matter. I gave him my mother-in-law's number, my sister-in-law's number, my brother-in-law's number. And as at that time, I had not discovered that it was my brother-in-laws that went to tell him not to buy. As at that time, I didn't know. So I was begging him to buy the tipper. So he called my mother-in-law right in my presence. My mother-in-law gave her consent and told him, please, if you want to buy the vehicle, you can buy it. She's my wife. And the husband actually handed over these properties to her when he was still alive. So when my mother-in-law told the man that he felt bad, he was feeling bad that maybe his inability to buy the tipper then was what led to my husband's death. Maybe because we didn't see money to treat him and stuff like that. So I tried to explain to the man not to feel guilty, that it was not his fault. And to cut the long story short, the man decided to buy the vehicle, but he insisted that my brother-in-laws, those in Lagos, would be present to sign, and me too, I would sign. I was like, oh, no problem. Let me go and meet them. So I went back home, met with them, told them everything. They decided to come with me. So when we got to the man's office the next day, we already signed all the documents, and when it was time for the man to make payment, the man now asked for account number. I gave my account number. One of my brother-in-laws stood up and said no, that the money will not be paid into my account. So I asked him why. He said that he does not trust me, that the way I was fronting for this tipper to be sold, he was not even aware if his brother was the one that gave his consent when he was still alive, and now that he's dead, my major concern was to sell the tipper, and in fact, that he's suspecting me. He said it openly in the presence of everybody there. In fact, that he's suspecting that I'm the one that killed my husband. That was the moment I could no longer hold it. I held him there. I held him outside there, and I started crying. I was crying, I was weeping. I could not help it. I could not help it at that point. I called my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was crying on the phone, asking him why he would say a thing like that, that everybody knows how my husband died and all of that. My mother-in-law was mad, and she was sick as at that time, because this thing happened 1 month after Daddy's death. So she was crying, she was weeping, she was not herself. She now talked to me and said I should allow the money to be paid into any of their accounts, since they don't want the money to be paid into my account, provided the man buys the tipper and they sell it. I agreed because I love my mother-in-law so much, and I love and respect her so much. I love her so much, so I agreed. I left the place before them. Even before they made that payment, I already left that place because of the shame, and a lot of people were looking at me. So this woman killed her husband, and here she is begging and blah blah blah. If you know beggar where they are selling tipper parts very well, you will know that it's Agbero area. A lot of people were already, looking at me somehow. I could not walk. I didn't even see the leg that I left that place with. It was painful in my heart because I was trying my best not to create a scene. My mother-in-law already begged me on the phone that I should just leave and not say a word. So I was trying to leave the place. It was so shameful. It was only a woman, one woman. I promised I was not going to cry in this video. I don't even know why I'm emotional again. I'm so sorry, you guys. So it was one woman that called me and said, please, that one thing she wants to beg me is that I should go home and allow them to handle whatever it has to do with their brother, because if I press further, that with the way that man was talking, that he can harm me. And my most painful part, the most painful part of this whole thing is that this particular brother-in-law of mine, I've never had issues with him. In how many years in that marriage, I've never quarreled with him, I've never had issues with him. So him coming out publicly, not even in the private, him coming out publicly to accuse me in the market, in the open place, it was so painful in my heart. But thanks to God Almighty, I was able to leave that place without creating a scene. I held myself and I left because of my mother-in-law. When I got back, that was the moment I left everything I was doing in Lagos and I came back to the village, and I stayed in the village until everything was done, burial and everything was done. I remained in the village. I didn't go back to Lagos again. I didn't go back again. I remained in the village. But after everything, because it was in my heart, I could not let it go. They called a meeting, and in that meeting, when they asked me if I had anything to say, the only thing I said was that I want him, my brother-in-law, I want to prove to me that how he saw me kill my husband, how I could not help it. I was still lamenting. I was bitter in my heart. I was bitter because I was dealing with a lot at the same time. I said it openly in the presence of the elders, my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law started screaming my name. Onyinye, Onyinye. She started calling me that. She told me not to mention it. I did not, I could not hold it. I had to openly tell him, please, I want you to tell the entire family how I killed my husband. And that was the moment he started saying that he spoke out of anger, this, that. He didn't mean what he said. But then their brother came to tell them that I was trying to sell the tipper. And when he called my husband told them that they should not bother me with whatever decision I am taking, whether he's alive or dead. So he now felt that his brother was down. That was why he was talking like that, and that he decided to fight and stand for him. You guys, it was not easy because I would still not let go. I didn't let go at all. I insisted that we swear to an oath. I am a Christian. I don't believe in fetish things, but the moment he gave that flimsy excuse, it was not cogent enough for me because I have never had issues with him. We have never quarreled before. We have never disagreed on anything. So him coming out to say that, I felt like there was another reason behind it. I didn't want to believe that reason he was giving me, so I insisted that something else be done for me to clear my innocence, for me to prove and clear my conscience and my innocence. So that night after the meeting, I didn't sleep. I was restless because I was not satisfied. I was not, my spirit, I wasn't, how will I put it? I have not avenged, how will I put it? It's not like avenging. My spirit was not settled. I was not okay with his reason. So my mother-in-law woke me up later in the middle of the night, and she gisted me a story of her life. She was a second wife, and she gisted me a story of how she was accused when her husband died, and by the first wife. She told me a story that was a situation that was worse than what I was going through at that point. So looking at that old woman, I just decided to let it go. But thank God that after 2 years, that my brother-in-law, I stopped talking to him. I wasn't picking his calls. I just stopped talking to him. Even when I later lost all the properties, he was among the people that supported me then, because he already knew it, that he accused me wrongly. I don't know his reason. Even up till now that I'm filming this video, I still don't know his reason. Let me put it like that. But I have forgiven him and I have moved on. Him too, he has apologized to me and I have moved on. I'm very close to his wife, like right now, but that was the most difficult thing I dealt with when my husband died. Somebody coming to accuse me that I'm the one that killed him. And this is something that is very common, very, very common in the society today. Once a man dies, the first person people will accuse, not even the family, people around will accuse is the wife. It is very wrong. You people don't know the damages you do to people when you accuse them wrongly. You don't know the damages. When you accuse people of what they did not do, you don't know the damages you do to them. I battled this thing, like I battled it for years. I battled it for years. Each time I remember it, I break down. I remember severally asking my friend NJ if this is a good video for me to film and put out. She was like, Sandra, this is your life. This is your story. Share it. Somebody that is going through the same thing will definitely, I don't know why I'm crying. Okay, I feel a lot better now. Having asked a lot of people about it and they gave me their consent, that is why I decided to share this video. If you're a widow or you have been going through something like this, I want you to just commit it in the hands of God. There is no amount of vengeance that will heal your heart, even if you try to avenge. Because me, I tried to avenge at a point. There was nothing that my brother-in-law does that I like. I will always look for a way to do him back. I was looking for a way to do him back what he did to me. But that did not solve my problem. But when I gave God chance in my life, he healed me. And having heard my mother-in-law's story, I was like, oh, what I am even going through is minor compared to what she went through. So I saw it that my own case was little. So also part of what made me heal faster, okay? I'll put it like that. And another part of it was when the elders said we needed to swear. My brother-in-law was begging that he cannot swear because he wasn't sure. So my question is, since you were not sure, what pushed you into saying something like that? Because me, I didn't know what that swearing was all about, but for me to prove my innocence, I was ready to swear. Even if I was going to die, I was ready to swear, because I don't know what that oath was all about. I didn't even care to know what the oath was all about, but I was ready to swear at all costs. That was how desperate I was then, just trying to prove my innocence. Okay, so if you are being accused of something you did not do, I want you to just let it go. If at this point you're going through something like this, just let it go. Because no matter how much you try to prove your innocence, the world will not see it. Only you knows who you are. Only you knows what you've done. Only you knows what you did. This Igbo song that says, Aga mekele Chukwu n'ihi na ọ hụrụ m n'anya. Aga mekele Chukwu n'ihi na o mere m eze. Mgbe m na-awagharị n'ime ọzara nke mmehie, Chimu ziri m ụzọ mee m mma, ọ nọ n'eluigwe na-ele m anya. Chioma mazuru echiche obi anyị n'elu ụwa. Nna m nọ n'eluigwe na-ele anyị anya o. Ihe niile anyị mere na nzuzo Jehova mazuru. O nyere m udo, o nyere m ebe sara mbara. My neighbors in Nnewi, like back then, they will attest to it that this song never departed from my mouth. I always sing it every single day. So this is one of the things that helped me to heal so fast. One of the things that kept me going is the fact that no matter what I am going through, somebody had gone through worse situations and they pulled through. So if that person can pull through, who am I not to pull through whatever I'm going through? So whatever it is you're going through right now, especially if somebody had accused you wrongly, please let it go. It weighed me down. It hindered blessings for me because I was bearing grudges. It was on my mind. It goes to bed with me, wakes up with me. This is a wound that I refuse to heal. As a matter of fact, you guys, it is not yet up to 1 year that I let this go completely. Let me be honest. It is not yet up to 1 year that I completely, from the deepest part of my heart, let it go. And I called that my brother-in-law to say, I have forgiven you completely. It was hindering blessings for me. It was always on my mind. It was always, oh my goodness, you guys can't even imagine the damages that this particular accusation did to me. But I decided to set myself free from it. So if you're bearing grudges because someone accused you wrongly, please set yourself free, because you are actually tying yourself down. If that person had prayed for forgiveness, God would have forgiven that person and they have moved on. But you, bearing it in your mind, dwelling on it, I know it's not easy. Me that I'm telling you now, it took me 5 years or more to let go. But because I have let go, that is why I'm here sharing this story and telling you to also let go. Telling you to also let go. Just let go of whatever it is that someone had done to you that you don't know how to do it. Watching me right now, let it go. Pray to God to give you the grace to let it go. I know it's not easy for somebody to accuse you wrongly what you did not do. And people tend to do that a lot. And they don't even know the damages they do to other people's life, accusing them wrongly. So I also want to tell you not to swear. Don't swear. You don't need to swear. Because I've seen a situation whereby a widow is forced to take the water they use in bathing her husband's dead body. They force her to take it to prove her innocence. It's also part of those AKEKE traditions that we are talking about. And I've seen cases where they take you to a shrine and you swear. These things I am talking about is things that I have seen happen, okay? Things that I've seen happen. Stories I've heard, true life stories I have heard. Very soon I'll start bringing other widows to the channel. I'll start bringing other people that have experienced some level of wickedness from the world and humanity to the channel, so that you guys will get to see what people go through, especially widows. Especially widows. I will keep saying this because I don't know why people tend to take advantage of widows, especially young ones. In fact, let me not talk about that. This is a video for another day. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. Let me just put on that smile again because I started this video happy. I'm sorry it had to go this way. This is the 5th time I am filming this video, and each time I film it, I go emotional. So I've seen it that it has to be an emotional video. Just take it the way you're seeing it. I'm so sorry if this made you cry. I'm so sorry if this made you go emotional. This is just the fairest of all the videos. That is why I decided to put out this particular one. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, please, I'm begging you, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.